All right, you coming? All right, Joe, how you doing, brother? Just getting a little started a little early. Get things up and running. Make sure we got things going on. Give it a few minutes here, like we always do. Let people start getting in the chat. Live from Hollywood. It's the Modern Red Hemi Show. Yes, sir, buddy. Yes, sir. No, I got you. It's all good, Frank. It's all good, man. Live from the Modern Red Hemi stage in Sony Picture Studios. All right, I'm gonna have to start off. I'm gonna have to start off with that from now on. You want out? Come on. Old Bean can't make up his mind whether he wants to stay in or go out. So he's out now. Hey, Shake and Bake is holding up well, man. She's doing extremely well. Here goes. Here we go. I can see what we're going to talk about tonight. But anyway, back to Frank. I get sidetracked too easy. But yeah, Shake and Bake's holding up well. No issues with her. As I put out in the video and we talked last week, she's going under the knife on Saturday, this Saturday, to put the HP90 in. So we'll have the HP90 in this weekend. All depends what we can and what we can't do. We'll see. There's definitely a handful of videos coming out of that install video. So I'm gonna get down and dirty into that install video because I got lit up in my last couple install videos where I just hit the high points and everyone was wanting the nitnoid details. So we'll get into the nitnoid details on the transmission, what you got to do to swap it out, what you need to swap it out, and all of that. So we'll get deep into that install so everyone understands and knows what it actually involves. But whoever's tuning your vehicle, they're gonna have to know how to tune for the HP90. That's gonna be key. How to switch the TCM and get the TCM and the PCM to talk between each other, because they won't do it automatically. I don't think anyway. But yeah, Shake and Bake's up, ready to rip. Hopefully, come a Saturday evening, we at least got a startup tune to work with, and work with Dave, try and get it dialed in a little bit, and see if we can't do some racing, not this weekend, but next weekend, with the HP90. So what's going to be good is it's going to be that comparison between a high stall torque converter in a 70 versus a stock stall demon torque converter in a HP70, HP90. See the difference in the 60 foots and the ETs. Bruce, I always put out a reminder. I usually put a reminder out Tuesday that it's coming, and then I try and put out one roughly in the midday to through the community chat. I put that out there when I'm going on. But it's every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Next weekend is going to be 9 o'clock. I'm gonna push it to 9 o'clock next weekend, just to see how the chat, how the live goes when I push it about an hour. But Tim, yeah, Tim, inline six is coming. All of that stuff is coming. Uh, the inline six and electric, both of those are no doubt. The electric is definitely coming. The inline six, I'm probably 95% sure that one's coming. Um, yeah, rip to the Hemi. Eventually, it's coming. How long it takes for that to happen, I don't know. But you already see different countries are already banning the sale of internal combustion engines by 2030 to 2035. Most of them, right in there. And our own government, not getting into politics, but it is also pushing for, I think it's 2035, no longer selling internal combustion engines. So it's just, you might as well be ready for it because it's coming. And I don't really see anybody stopping it. or, or there would be things being done now with the gas prices the way they are. That's just my opinion. Again, not getting into a political debate with anybody, so I'm just going to hop off that soapbox. Would you consider going a little in depth further than you already do? Kind of your common how to's or something like that. Joe, for sure, absolutely. So, like I said, the we're going to get in depth with the transmission swap because there is a number of things that you need to do the transmission swap. It's basically, well, here it is. It's a transmission, the drive shaft. There's a bracket that you have to also buy to get it all to work, and then you have to buy the cross member. So those are the 5 things you need for the swap, and then a tune. But that's going to be all in the next few video. Well, the next video is my injector issues, which I got fixed today. So shake and bake is up and back up and running. But yeah, Friday that video will pop off. Bruce, it's Wednesday already. Keep track of your days, brother. I know it's hard. I get confused on my days too. So Timothy, maybe the inline six will be American 2J in the future. To be into, it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where muscle cars in general do wind up going, and whether they keep the monikers that they already have, like the Challengers and the Chargers and the Mustangs and the Camaros. Are they going to keep those names? Are they going to change names when they become electric? Yeah. There's just a lot going on, and it's really hard to tell how it's going to wind up going. Yeah, Bruce, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. You always get, there's always 2 sides to every coin, right? And everyone's got their own opinions. I'm not totally sold on electric cars, but they are getting rangier. They're getting further and further. As a matter of fact, I think what was it? Stradman said the Hummer goes 360 miles on a charge, something like that. So it's getting better, but yeah, I'm curious to anyone that has an electric vehicle. What's your electric bill when you got to charge that car up every night? Wonder what's the difference in your electric bill from before you had the electric vehicle to after you have the electric vehicle? Pretty curious. Pretty curious. Redesign for the 2023. I don't, just because the way things are going, I don't think they're going to do any redesigning of any of the vehicles anytime soon. I think they're all going to look the way they look. And then, 2024 is supposedly is when the electric car is supposed to come out. So Yeah, it's really tough to say. I'm not big into the Dodge news thing and seeing where Dodge is going. If you really want to get into that kind of news from Dodge, go on over and check out RT Life's channel. Y'all know, most of y'all watch his channel too, but RT Life does a lot of Dodge news and dives into what's the direction of Dodge, where Dodge is going. Another one is Mar Speed. He does a lot of Dodge news and things like that. So you could check into those channels. I just don't read that much into where Dodge is going. I'm so tied up with Shake and Bake. I don't have time for I don't have time for doing all that. And B Mason, he in his chats, he chats a lot about the direction that Dodge is going. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. Let's start that video. Compliments come because of the because of the color. All right, all right, Ramon. Hey, better late than never. That's all I got to say. Was it a belt thing or alignment? It was definitely my opinion. I think it was definitely a belt thing. So what I was doing, I was trying to relieve some of the tension off the tensioner because it was super close to the ATI damper, right? Lower pulley, some people call it. Um, it was pretty close, so I figured I would get a little longer belt, toss it on there, relieve some of that tension, and the belt was still tight. It felt tight to me. Pushing down on it and pushing up on it. It felt tight to me. I thought it was good to go. Um, I drove, started up, let it idle. It was fine. I took a couple drives around, did some short, quick pulls, and it was fine. So I figured, all right, the belt's good. And I went from a it was a one, supposedly a 113, but it was real close to the same size as the 111 and a half. So it was a 113. I went to a 114. So I didn't go very far, but I think it was the belt was too long, wasn't tight enough for racing purposes. Tight enough for driving around town and normal driving, but hitting the track, I think the belt was just too long and it just slipped off because it's completely intact. It didn't shred, it didn't tear, it didn't rip, uh, none of that. It's in perfect condition, right? I just pulled it out from the engine bay. I didn't show that. I should have. A lot of this I probably should have talked about, but I didn't. Um, but yeah, I just think it was the belt was too long and was just too loose for racing. So that's what I think happened with the belt. Yeah, definitely. I definitely don't think it's an alignment because if it was an alignment, other belts would have done it when I was. The other belt would have done it when I was racing. Um, so that's what I think about the belt. Timothy, the 2030s are going to be the mid 70s all over again. Yeah, kind of the kind of it is what it is, right? It's the same thing. Gas prices skyrocketed, obviously back in the 70s. That's when you saw, the Civics going smaller. You saw the Yugos come out. You saw all these small cars coming out once gas prices started rising, and you can see it again. Things are going back to smaller, more fuel efficient vehicles. And it's probably going to stay that way unless something significant changes in the next couple of years, like the next election. All right, I'm not getting political, but um, yeah, something's going to have to change significantly, for the gas prices and people buying, these bigger vehicles, bigger cars. Bruce, I can tell you what my gas bill is with a mad frowny face. Absolutely. Mine is the same way. Even on E85, it went from low $2 a gallon to $4, and I think the last time I went was a little over $4 a gallon. It has dropped a little bit. It was up to 4.50 something a gallon, where I get my E85, but it has dropped down, back down to $4 a gallon, um, which helps, especially when I fill up the car. It's 18 gallons, and then I fill up 30 gallons worth of fuel cans. It gets pretty pricey. Electric bill's been rough because it hit 104. Yeah. So that's not what I was actually getting at. What I was trying to get at is, for those that have an electric car, have you compared your electric bill from when before you had the car to after you got the car, and what's that difference in a month? Being that you're charging your car up every month, and how does that compare to what you were paying for gas for your internal combustion car? Haven't seen anyone do that with an electric car, and compare it literally to to a regular car, right? Regular internal combustion engine car. Electric is still too new, or getting the same range on full charge as well as gas. You're paying hefty price tag for no emissions. Uh, Sold set. It needs to be researched more. I'm with you. Definitely, it is the future, right? Uh, no matter what we do or what happens or how fuel efficient V8s become, inline sixes, whatever takes the place of V8s, it's going to, yeah, yeah. I agree. A lot more research and development has to go into electric cars. Hey, thanks, Build It. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, race car life, right? Get ready for it. When you're doing all these modifications and all of these things that weren't necessarily the engine was necessarily built for, you're going to run into problems, and that's just what these are. Just little nitnoid problems. Haven't run into a big one. Knock on wood. Haven't run into a big one yet. They've been mostly petty little things, belts and O-rings on injectors. Oh, I gave that one away. Spoiler alert, right? But yeah, it's all good, man. I got it fixed within probably 30-40 minutes. It was just at the track. I got super frustrated, got tired. I was like, this thing's leaking. I'm just gonna throw a rag around it. I'm only 10-15 miles from the track, so I just threw a rag around it and had someone follow me home to make sure I didn't catch on fire, and parked it in the garage. All right, Day Day, hi, how you doing? Appreciate your support. That is one thing that I do like about my Torque Storm. It runs off its own belt system. Yeah, but I don't know if that's true for the Challengers and Chargers. I don't know. I'm just kind of asking. But if you know, that'd be nice to know if it runs its own belt for the Challengers and the Chargers, like it does for the trucks. Bruce, nothing like sitting on a lithium bomb. Yep, yes, sir. Um, yeah, like I said, I still think more stuff needs to be researched and developed for electric cars. Randall, you're gonna throw shake and bake on race gas? No, no. Short answer is I'm on E85, and I'm gonna stay on E85. Especially now. All right, you think 93 is expensive? Go try and buy a 5 gallon pail of race gas. It's upwards of 15, $20 a gallon. And it depends what fuel you're getting, right? But it can range significantly, $15 to $30 a gallon. Depending on what race gas you're picking up. But E85 is where Shake and Bake's staying. I get the octane rating is great for E85, and there's some other benefits to E85. Maybe we would do that in a video. Benefits of E85. Now there are some cons to E85. It is corrosive. It is a cleaner, right? It's alcohol, so it does do some wear and tear on your on parts, rubber, things like that. Does take its toll on that kind of stuff. So it's something you gotta watch, you gotta take care of, and be aware of. Timothy, oh no, I get it. I've seen it compared, but even then, it's not like the price of coal versus nuclear is that different on the consumer side. Yeah, and that's another thing I haven't seen. Right? Um, what's the carbon footprint? No kidding, of an electric vehicle. So where is that electricity coming? Is it coal? Is it oil? Is it gas? Is it nuclear? Where is the electricity coming from? And what's the real carbon footprint of an electric vehicle? Because it's got to have some. It's got to have some. Bruce, just remember, if we can't get gas, you can always make alcohol. That's for sure. That's for sure, 100%. We drive Challengers. They're made for running on shine. My wife tells me the same thing, right? She's like, you know what? We should just put a still in the backyard and make your own E85. We definitely should. We we definitely should, and you definitely could. You got to have all the right stuff to get it there. Do I think Scat Pack is the valued Hemi for the money? Tim, that is a great question. Um, in today's market, I don't think any of them are valued. I looked at I looked at a Shaker 5.7 today in the dealership. Sticker was 50K. 50,000 for a 5.7 Shaker. Just crazy. But I hey, the 6.4 is a great platform as well. Nothing. I don't take anything away from the 6.4. The 6.4 is a great platform. Do a couple drop in. Look at wide body Mike. Put in some drop ins, and you can go the moon. The sky's the limit. You could go as far as you want with some drop in pistons from MMX, uh, pistons and rods. It's a great platform. Uh, it's priced right, obviously right in the middle between a 5.7 and a Hellcat. Um, it's for me, it's all what you can afford and what your wallet can handle. But yeah, scat packs are great too. Nothing wrong. Hey, Day Day, I said hello. Uh, Understand. Just thought you might. I have a 2016 Challenger 5.7 RT. Just got it this year. I want to model it after your build. Keep up the awesome content. All right, Randall. But I'm here to tell you, make sure you have what you want to do laid out. You have your goal, whatever that goal is. If it's, I hate to say a horsepower number because I hate dyno numbers, but if it's a horsepower number, if it's a time at the track, just keep that goal in mind when you're buying things, and don't wind up buying things two and three times like I did. Um, and every car is different, so watch out for that too. Can you imagine putting Everclear in the gas tank? Now that'd be expensive, right? What Everclear is probably $9-10 a liter, give or take. But that is funny. I thought about doing that, right? Raising the alcohol content of my gas and just getting a fifth of Everclear and put it in the tank. Got to be 50 yards from a living. structure up to 50 gallons legally. Hmm. I'm pretty sure that depends on state and where you're at. Um, yeah. So some states require you to have a I don't want to call it a license, but I don't know. So it's all about the tax. It's all about the tax thing. If you're using it for your home use, having the tax thing is not a big deal. But that's what it boils down to is it is alcohol tax and consumption of alcohol, vice, using it as a fuel. Tim, holy markup. That wasn't even a markup. That was 50K literally on the sticker. Um, I didn't ask if there was any markup on top of the sticker, but you're not getting, especially for these cars, the sports cars, you're not getting the rewards and the bonuses and all that stuff you used to get to crank these things down below MSRP. Yeah, nowadays it just doesn't happen. Uh, all right, Tim talking about getting away from his neighbors and 50 yards away from his house. All right, built-in motorsports. From what I can read, it sounds like the Torque Storm Challenger kits run off a dedicated 8 rib. Huh. That's interesting. That's interesting. But it's got to run off of something. It's got to tie in somewhere, right? Uh, but yeah, that's something to look into. The Torque Storm. Uh, Here we go. Here we go. Hitting different brands of superchargers. I just, my opinion, you can't go wrong with any of them. You get onesie twosies probably in the differences between all of them. But um, yeah, I just think you can't go wrong with any of the ones out there. Uh, just looked at their drop-ins and gapping video MMX. Yep, yep. That's all you need for the 6.4. Well, I think it's more than just gapping the rings for the 6.4. You definitely got to have the drop ins, and they should gap the rings for you if you tell them, if you talk to them and let them know your goals and what you're doing with it. Um, they'll do everything for you. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, man. Is Pro Charger gives you the full kit. Torque Storm just gives you basically a head unit, and you need to figure out everything else. You need to kind of figure out everything else on your own. And I don't know about Vortec, but like I said, you can't go wrong. I'm not gonna get into superchargers again. Farmers are so cool. uh, 500 to 550 to the wheels. Pro charge it and you're done. Pro charge it and you're done. You're right at 500. If you want to go for the cams and long the a cam, so if you want to pro charge cam long tube headers, you're in that mid 550 range, easy on a good tune. Uh, you wanted a purple Challenger, so you're talking about Plum Crazy, wide body scat. Oh, Hell Raising. I got you. Wide body scat was about 54. That's not bad. I'm not sure you're gonna find one at 54. From what I seen, seen it. I think it was a Hell Raising, or was it black? I can't remember. But a 5.7 was 50K. So I don't know about finding. You might be able to find a used one for 54, but I don't think you'll find a new one for 54. Tim, do you have rear seat delete? No, but I don't have any back seat. That rear seat delete adds pretty much adds the weight back into the car that you're taking out. Your back seat really doesn't weigh that much, um, unless you got full leather interior. Then your back seat may weigh a little bit, but mine was nothing but frame and foam and cloth seats, and that was it. So probably 15, 20 pounds at the most for my back seat. But yeah, I haven't had my back seat in for, gosh, probably a year or two now. So now if you take, so if you got cloth seats and you take out your front seat and your rear seat, then you're talking about some weight savings because that front seat weighs a lot. It probably weighs 50, 60 pounds. Even the cloth ones, 50, 60 pounds, give or take. I never really weighed it. I probably should, but it's probably 50, 60 pounds. And then, like I said, another 20, 25 from your rear seat. And if you take out your spare tire, if you have a spare tire, you take out your spare tire, that's probably another 40, 50. So you can save a lot of weight. Yeah, that's that's my mantra, right? This Don's simplistic view of the planet. Boost is boost, right? It's gonna make your car go faster. Any of them are gonna make your car go faster, and it all depends how you set it up. Yep, and tuning. Tuning is also key. Depends on your tuner. Ended up spending about 4 months so you found a 2016 RT Shaker in Plum Crazy. Yeah, Plum Crazy. Those, especially a Shaker, those cars are pretty rare. And a manual. I was close to buying a Plum Crazy Scat Pack before I bought my car, but at the time the budget just wasn't there to make that happen. And actually, I'm at this point I'm glad it didn't. Everything worked out well from where I'm at now. Uh, oh, you're good, Tim. It's all good, man. It's all good, Tim. Don't worry about it. Hey, shoot questions away. That's what we're here, just shooting the breeze. A bunch of car guys just sitting around talking. That's the way I see this chat going. So cam and headers or cam headers forge and boost. Is it worth waiting for all the parts and do it once or piece by piece? Hmm. I have I have my reservations doing it all at once. Um, I think that's why one of the reasons why I've had so much success with shake and bake. When I say success, I mean limited downtime with shake and bake. Is that I did do pretty much one or two things at a time. I didn't do it all at once, uh, and I think that's where maybe some of the shops, I don't want to say go wrong, but I think that's when you do everything at once. I think that's where hidden issues wind up popping up is when you do it all at once compared to the way I've done it over the last 4 years, 4 years, 5 years, 4 or 5 years now. A modification here, a modification there, burn that modification in and then move on to the next one. There's something to say about, I think there's something to say about that because it worked for me. Where, I hear a lot of horror stories from people doing it all at once at a shop. And then the next thing you have is you get this, especially if your tuner's not in the shop that did the mechanic work, you kind of get this, right? No, it's a mechanical issue. And you go to the mechanic and it's like, no, it's a tuning issue. And you go to the tuner and the tuner says it's a mechanic issue. We went over this before. You get in, he went that away kind of thing. And then you're screwed because who do you go to after that? Your tuner says it's not him and your mechanic says it's not him. Who do you turn to get your car fixed? But Bruce, and it kind of depends on the budget too. If you're willing to wait and willing to pay, and you can pay all of the labor up, unless you're doing the work yourself. If you're doing the work yourself, I would argue that's probably somewhat safer than going to a shop. If you know what you're doing and you can do the work yourself, that's great. But if you're going to a shop, yeah, I mean, the shop's obviously going to want to do it all at once so they don't have your car in and out, in and out, in and out. Or maybe they do want to do it in and out, in and out, and out, and they'll charge you even more money. But um, yeah, I just think there's been, for me, hearing horror stories coming out of a lot of different shops. Now, there's a lot of good shops out there. Don't get me wrong. There are good shops, good mechanics out there that do good work, take their time, make sure everything's right when they install it. But others, I think, um, some of these Hemi shops are overworked and they have too much work to do. And to try and keep up with demand, they're rushing to get things through. And you know what happens when humans rush things? They're going to make human mistakes. Tim, ideas. Yeah, lots of ideas. Yeah, Tim. Yeah. So some tuners, primarily email tuners, will take certain modifications and not charge you to retune the car. This is also true. Tim brings up a good point, right? If you do certain things at a time, vice all at once, some tuners will charge you to retune the car. So, I, yeah, like I said, there's something to be said for both sides of the coin. There's always two sides of the coin, right? Two sides of the story. I'm on the side of taking your time, doing some mods, give it a couple weeks, do some more mods. If you do have the money to do it, right? Do some mods. I would do it. I would piece it. I guess is what I'm saying. But Tim brings up a great point, that the tuning cost. Beware of that. So if your tuner is willing to tune your car with the upgrades, and not charge you an arm and a leg for the upgrades, I would piecemeal it. Can't comment on that. About that. Yeah, believe me, I paid a lot of tuning costs, and that's more moving from tuner to tuner, not necessarily uh, because of upgrades. Twin turbo for a 6.4. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Uh, the Hellion kit is a great kit. Uh, I would say it's not necessarily a beginner's type of install, because I've seen people run into issues with the Hellion twin turbo. But yeah, nothing wrong with a twin turbo on a 6.4. All right, with the drop ins, with the drop ins. Uh, yeah, go for it. That would make a monster for sure. 1/71. Not sure what you're saying, Tim. 1/71, but that's all right. Milwaukee's best. Nothing wrong with a little Milwaukee's best when you're on a budget. That's for sure. Actually, I drank a lot of Bush when I was on a budget. Left Hand Brewery Peanut Butter Milk Stout. I've never heard of a peanut butter milk stout, but that sounds good. It definitely sounds like a good drink. Yeah, Bruce. Like I said, I can only give you my experience, my limited experience with the work I've done with Shake and Bake. Um, I don't think Wide Body Mike is in tonight, and it's wow. We only got 5 people watching tonight, kind of low, but Yeah, I can give you my experience and my opinions, and please take them as my experience and my opinions, and don't take it as fact. Um, do your own due diligence. And I would say this for anyone giving you advice. Don't just take that advice and run with it. Do some research. Make sure that advice is on par with what you want to do and how you want to do things. Because how I did mine may not be the way you want to do yours. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, but yeah, it is what it is. Do your own research, take your own path. Just don't follow someone step for step because that's the way they did it. Uh, Stout, that's good stuff, man. Personal list for good alcohol. There you go. I'm not really too worried about the cost. I hear you, Bruce. Yes, I'm lying. Absolutely. But Holden also said the same thing about problems arising. Ah, like I said, you got your good shops out there, and then you got your shops that think they know what they're doing, and then they get overworked and they get too much work, and then they're just trying to push cars out. Then you have your other ones that are super busy, like HHP. HHP is a great place to get your car done. 100%, no doubt about it. Have they had issues? Absolutely. Every builder has some issues here and there. But then, HHP also tunes their vehicles. So you've got your tuner and your builder and your mechanic all in the same building, all working for the same company. That's a little different than getting your work done by garage X, and then your tuner is tuner Y, right? That's when you get into the pointing fingers when something goes wrong, because it's not me, it's him. It's not me, it's him. Well, he's telling me it's you. Well, no, I'm telling you it's him. Right? You get into that craziness, and I'm just rambling right now. Uh, what does he have to? Oh, one of 71 RT shaker with a manual. Gotcha. One of 71. I gotcha. Uh, all right. Tim and Bruce going back and forth there for a sec. Randall with my build. I'm going to go Edelbrock Victor 2. Intake manifold over the 392. What are your thoughts? Um, so I haven't seen a whole lot of information on the Edelbrock Victor 2 to really give you an informed thought. But I'll tell you, the 392 manifold 100% will get you power across the entire curve, literally from get go to end. You're getting more power, you're getting more torque. Proven fact. Multiple YouTube videos out there on the 392 making significant power gains across uh, the whole curve, the whole power curve. Edelbrock, I can't say I've seen the same. Usually with the Edelbrock, uh, correct me if I'm wrong, that's similar to a 6.1 intake. So here you go again, right? So they're obviously heavier than the 392 because the 392 manifold is plastic. But so now you're talking about a little, yeah, adding a little weight. But you know, again, it's one of those. Randall, do your research on the Edelbrock first before you pull the trigger, and make sure that's what you're looking for. Speaking of the 392 manifold, we're gonna find out how much boost that thing can hold next year, probably next year, because we're gonna turn up the boost. For now, the plan is to keep the 392 manifold. I may go with a ported 6.1. I'm gonna have to play that by ear when we look at switching to the forged engine later this year in the wintertime. I'd have put Steve Mariota out with a T on it. All right, now you found a Dodge Viper for 60K. Something's wrong with it. 100%. There has to be something. You may have found a Viper. Was there an engine in it for 60K? For 60K, was there an engine in it and the tires were all there? That would be an incredible deal. If you found a Dodge Viper for 60K, definitely jump on it. Uh, Bruce, I've heard the 2014s are the 2014s and earlier, or yeah, later, earlier, are a little bit harder to tune. That's what I'm saying. If you could find really, if you could find any Dodge Viper for 60K that has an engine, four tires, and it runs, that's a steal. Uh, Tim's 6'6" height might be an issue. Yeah, but that 20, 30K you can turn it around for. It doesn't matter how tall you are. If you can turn it around for 20, 30K. Because Vipers, man, Vipers are expensive. They're up there. Let's see. We got about 14 minutes left. And things in the chat it seem to be slowing down just a tad. Like I said, it looks like we only got 5 folks watching. Um, yep, big dollars, big dollars. And the GT, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, look at Street Speed. When he bought his, it was that thing was 250. I think he paid for his. I can't remember. Well, his was a oh gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at cars that are expensive. ACR, that's it. Yes. Thank you, Timothy, for putting the letters in my mouth right there. Yes, he had a Viper ACR, and then had it uh, twin turboed at Calvo, along with a sequential um, transmission. That thing was ridiculous, and that dude's got some fast cars too. He really does. Um, Yeah, we'll give it a few more minutes if anyone's got any other questions, anything you want me to comment on, or just anything at all. Doesn't necessarily, could be beer, could be cars, could be I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. That's why I leave this open chat. I know a few people have asked me, "Hey, what's the topic? What's the top?" Oh, APG, golly, brother. Oh man, thank you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And Shake and Bake definitely appreciates it because you know the deal. Every red penny goes right back into Shake and Bake, man. I really appreciate APG and also being a member of the channel as well with the $5 a month. I definitely appreciate it. You've been with the channel for a long time, and I know it, and I appreciate it. I just wish I had time to do to do more with the membership for the channel, with special things in that. But hey, I'm just Joe Schmo. I work work my job, you know, 9 to 5, 8 to 4 every day. I put in my 8 hours a day, and this is just kind of a side gig, but I definitely appreciate 100% appreciate the support. And to be honest, without YouTube at this point, I wouldn't be able to do really anything that I plan on doing here in the near future. 96 Dodge Viper RT Roadster. Man, I would jump on that if the mileage isn't bad. If you got the funds laying around, I would jump on that Viper for 60K. That's for sure. Man, APG, that thing it just keeps blaring me in the face. I love it. I appreciate it. Still working out everything on the build as of now. Thanks for time responding to my comments. This first Dodge build. I'm coming from a diehard Chevy family. Yeah, maybe you should have stayed over there because it's so you don't have to pay the Mopar tax. But it's all good, Randall. Hey, like I said, I am just a regular guy modifying his car, learning as he goes along, and just documenting my journey through YouTube, and again, throwing it out there for you guys and gals. There are some gals out there that watch the channel, and I just hope you guys enjoy the content. And I know a number of people have reached out and said, during COVID, the videos were getting them through, the COVID times. But I definitely appreciate each and every one of you and all of the support that you guys have been giving me. Yeah, Ron, and I'm a car guy. Right? It's a Mopar channel. I'm gonna give Fords and Chevy crap all the time, but there's nothing wrong with Mustangs. There's nothing wrong with the Camaros. There's nothing wrong with Corvettes. I've been a Corvette guy forever. If I could own a Corvette, I'd have one. Yeah, LS's LS's are ridiculous. They really are. Um, they're still Hemi wannabes. You know it, Bruce. They're still Hemi wannabes. Um, you know what? Watching the new Street Outlaw Endgame, um, watching the different guys build their street cars that have 1,200 horsepower, right? Building street cars to race on street. Axeman. He was talking about some of the differences between not an LS but the Ford motor he put in his car and a Hemi, and kind of showing the difference in the heads and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting. So if you got time, go check out that Street Outlaws Axeman's video. It's Axeman's show. It's pretty good. I can't wait for JJ to do his next week, and that's every Monday. Elephants versus donkey. Yeah, I hear you. Twin turbo Hellcat on nitrous here out of Spring Hill, Tennessee. Man, that's got to be a ripper. That's for sure. Um, hey, Fast Channel, appreciate you subscribing. That's awesome. No limit speed production, man. That's definitely got to be a monster. Spring Hill, Tennessee. I don't know where that's at, but I got a cabin. The wife and I have a cabin up in Roan Mountain, Tennessee, if you're familiar with that area, just outside of Elizabethton, Johnson City, Kingsport area, sorta. Huge C5 vet guy. Awesome, man. Awesome. 8,000 for a twin turbo kit. That's not bad, really, for a twin turbo kit. Just how much of that kit comes with it? That's the question. Bruce Hellion kit. I'm guessing he's saying Hellion kit was 97 for him. So yeah, 8K for a twin turbo kit if you're getting everything. That's not bad. Magnuson to keep the shaker functionality. So you can go Pro Charger too. You don't have to go Magnuson. You could go Pro Charger, but if you want the positive displacement ones, yeah, Magnuson is the only one that I know of that makes a kit that goes under the shaker. Wow, not now. All right, you're just south of Nashville. Yep, sure. Kind of on the other side of the state, but it's all good. Tennessee's Tennessee. Whatever cam. Demon, upgraded springs, long tube, and a smile. Oh gosh, here we go. Got a girl message me late. Anyone put the elephant motor down one of our cars yet? I want to say there's a couple folks on YouTube that have put hellions or elephants in there. I'll say a Challenger and a Charger. I can't remember the names of the channels, but I think there are a couple channels out there that have dropped the elephant in our cars. Yeah, hit that like button. What's up with you guys? What's going on? There we go. It just wasn't updating for me. Help. Send help to Sugar Cube Connor. Discord injured unspeakable. Apple Bloom, not sure where you're going with that, brother. Tim, yep, that's what I said. There's been a couple, but yeah, there's not very many elephants out there. Uh, not as many, not as many as you would think. You would think there would be a lot more out there. A lot more people take advantage of that engine. There's really not. Not a lot of people have taken advantage of the and done much with it. All right, we're coming right up on that hour mark, right about 9 o'clock. Um, I'm gonna go through the usual spiel, man. Again, I appreciate everyone that has supported the channel, whether you're a subscriber or not. You know, if you're not subscribed and you're watching the videos, that's great. Love you for it. Appreciate it. But think about subscribing to the channel if you're not subscribed. Like those videos that you like. Hit me up in the comments. I pretty much answer everybody's comments. I might not hit the replies to some of the comments, but I do hit all of the initial comments that pop up in my inbox. Um, and I hit me up on Instagram if you got questions or you just want to talk cars. Hit me up on Instagram. That's the best place to get me is Instagram, please. If you go through Facebook Messenger or Twitter, you're probably not going to get me for a number of days. I rarely get on Facebook, maybe once a week, once or twice every 2 weeks. I don't get on Facebook. I don't get on Messenger very often. I am on IG, Instagram a lot more than I am any of the other platforms. So that's the best place to reach me if you got questions or you just want to talk something over. Is hit me up on Instagram. All right, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it. I do try and I try my best to get and you get raw content. Really, I don't edit out a lot of things. I think I said last time, people cussing, things like that. Even when I do it, I'll edit that out just to keep the channel clean. And if there's, I don't know how many younger kids are watching the channel or anything like that. I know I've had a couple younger kids see my banner and and I'm pulled over in a parking lot or something. They'll come, hey, I subscribe to the channel. So I try and keep the channel as clean as possible. And cut out all the cuss words and things like that. But other than that, you get straight raw footage. If you watch the videos, all I do is I mush them together and call it a video. So you get there are no bloopers. The bloopers are already in the videos. And a lot of people have caught my bloopers. Some people haven't caught my bloopers, but a lot of people have caught my bloopers. And if it's one of my fellas, I pay for it for months because they never let me live things down. Yeah, like I said, the next video is gonna be out on Friday. That's gonna be on the injector issue, and I literally go step by step on how I wound up fixing it. So that'll come out on Friday. Facebook Marketplace is the devil, Bobby Boucher. Watch out for Facebook Marketplace. Rough place. All right, everybody. Again, especially APG, man, you just keep dropping the bombs on me. I definitely appreciate the support. Everyone else, I appreciate your support just as much. Um, but that's going to do it for this one, folks. Hope you all have a great night and get set for the video on Friday. And if you want to chat again, we'll be here next week. No, we're going to push to 9 o'clock next week just to see. We get people further. Not everyone's on the East Coast. Some people are on the West Coast. 8 o'clock, is a little bit early for those folks. It's only 5 o'clock, so I'm going to push to 9 and just try that for a Wednesday and see what happens. So good night, everybody. Until the next video. Adios. Super Hellcat. Adios.